What's up, everybody? Renfail here. Welcome. We are about to dive into the character creation process for Diablo 4. This video is more geared towards the new player who might not have never played this game before or just wants a little bit more information before they create their first character. So first and foremost, you can choose the sex of the character that you're going to be creating right out of the gate. So it doesn't matter what class you pick, you're not locked to any specific sex or gender. You can then pick from a variety of presets as to what the face of your character looks like and everything else, but you can also customize beyond this. So this is really just, hey, here's the overview, this is what your character is going to look like slightly from a distance. Which one of these do you think most represents or best represents? You don't have to like any of these because you can customize them, but if you do like some of these, once you've picked one, you can then go from here and work on finalizing that and refining it further with all the different hairstyles and colors and everything else, and previewing what the armor looks like. So the first screen you're going to get to here is going to be variations of the face that you just chose, which allows you to go through and say, well, maybe I don't like these variations that much. Maybe I want to go back and change what those looks like. You also got various hairstyles here, as well as various facial hairstyles. Now, I want to go with a bearded character, but the question I have from here is what hairstyle is going to go best with that beard to sort of represent the rogue type character that I'm creating here. I like the mohawk a little bit, but ultimately, Chris likes the bald one. The top knot was pretty good. I don't like the shaved head. This one I liked if it was a little bit longer, and the ponytail one just looks kind of funky. Ultimately, that's not a bad look either, but I don't think that's a rogue look. We'll play around with these, but the big thing is that you've got lots of hair options, also lots of hair color options, so you can go through and choose from. As far as character creation processes go, I feel like this one is one of the more robust I've seen for a game in a while, especially considering that this is a top-down isometric game, because you're not going to be looking at your character that often with like photo mode and everything else. But be that as it may, we have skin tones, eye colors, different things that we can customize here with the character. The one big thing is that anytime you go into the wardrobe in game, you're going to be able to see this up close and personal of your character. The other really cool thing is if you end up not happy with the way your character looks after you've done this initial character creation process, once you make it to the first city, you will be able to completely redo all of this. For no cost, so it's no big deal. Once you go from all that, you get into the markings and jewelry. So you can look at all the various markings that you want on your body. You can also choose different types of jewelry, and of course the colors for the markings, which are the tattoos across your body. Now I'm a big fan of earrings, so there's like 33, it says here, 33 different options for earrings and earring sets that you can choose from. So be prepared to spend a lot of time here if this is sort of your jam. I do like decorating my characters with lots of accessories. So for me, this was probably one of the funnest parts of the character creation process, was to be able to go through here and go, ooh, look at all these earring sets. And I've actually, sounds silly, but this is just how I roll in my brain sometimes. I'm already looking ahead to the earring set I want to use for my sorcerer, because it's a completely different character, and so the rogue is my first one, but definitely want to do a sorcerer next. So this is beyond, choosing the hairstyles and facial hair and everything else. Marking colors, jewelry, and the makeup as well. You could choose the different types of makeup there are, as well as how heavy they are applied. And here we can finally see the hairstyle that Chris has told me that she wants to. By the way, those medallion earrings, definitely what my sorcerer is going to be using that we just saw a minute ago. In any case, Chris was looking at the ponytail or the shaved head, and we compromised and went with the shaved sides and top knot in the back with the beard. I think he looks pretty gruff. But now we need to get into changing the markings. I really like all of these. I think they have different meanings. Chris said this looks like The Rock, like Dwayne The Rock Johnson. She was like, are we creating Dwayne The Rock Johnson? I was like, no, I want something different. Going through here, though, there's a ton of different options. Well, I shouldn't say a ton. There's six different options for markings. Ultimately, I like this one right here, which has sort of like the shield on one side, and then like a weird compass-looking thing, and runes and everything else. That one will probably be what my sorcerer uses with that one right there. That's one my sorcerer uses. But this is the one I'm going to use for my rogue. Once you get from here, you can do your colors. And different colors show up on different skin tones in different ways. So just play around with all the different types of skin tones and markings colors to figure out what's going to work best for you, because there are a ton of options in terms of permutations. And so you can just go through and spend, I mean, if you wanted to, you could easily spend a couple hours here in character creation if that's your jam. Also, we got to, look at all the various options here. Going through the face variations again. I'll spend a good, depending on the game. I spent a lot of time during the last server slam creating this character in particular, so I already kind of knew what I wanted him to look like. Apart from the hairstyle and the earrings, that was something that Chris helped me with, but I already knew I wanted him to be bearded, and this was the facial set that I wanted. I think he looks good. I think it looks really good in armor too, and that's the other part of this, which you'll get into once you get into the game, is that you can fully customize the way your character looks with the different armor sets that you've gotten through the game because of the transmogrification system in the game. So bear in mind, even while you're going to be seeing some of these symbols right now because he's not wearing any clothes, the moment you start to equip armor and helmets and cowls and cloaks and all those other things, it will hide these markings. So that's something to pay attention to when you're going through here, is to understand that not these won't always be visible unless you want them to be, but you can fully customize the sets of armor that your character wears or doesn't wear. So if you want him running around and just like a kilt and a pair of pantaloons and bare chested with all of his tattoos showing visibly, barbarian style, you could absolutely do that if you want to. But here we're finalizing the earrings. I think we're going to go with these hoops. I don't want to do hardcore option. Hardcore heroes die permanently. I do not want that. But once you're done with this, ignore that option unless you really want to. Create your character's name. Renfail as always, because that's been my tag name for like, I don't know, 30 years or more, like 35 years. From here we can choose to start the game. Let's see, go in here. What's up, everybody? Commercial break here. I got to give a shout out to our guild champions. It's the highest tier membership here on YouTube. We got Ancient Entity, Crazy as Relative, and Remy D. Thanks so much for your support. And of course, to all of the members here on YouTube, thanks for keeping me on the air full time. If you do like what you see and hear on my channel, don't forget to not only like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, but please support. Consider me your Netflix, your Hulu, your Disney Plus, or HBO, whatever you want to call it. You can do memberships here on the channel starting at $3 a month. And of course, anytime you see me live or you watch a premiere, you can do super chats and stickers on those videos, and super thanks on any upload you see, which allows me to keep doing this full time and paying the bills. So from Chris and I and all of our rescue cats, we say thank you. Let's get back to the video at hand. All right, we can get into the game now, and from here you're going to be choosing your tutorial preference, whether you want more guidance or less guidance. I would always suggest taking more guidance if you're someone who's new. Even I, who have played Diablo games in the past, I choose more guidance the first time I play a game every time, because I want the maximum amount of tutorials to be able to help guide me through whatever is the process, which leads you to this screen right here, choosing either World Tier 1 or World Tier 2. If this is your first time playing, I would highly urge you, if you're just after story, do World Tier 1. It's the easiest difficulty, and it's actually still quite challenging on a lot of the boss fights. World Tier 2, I would not suggest unless you've actively played Diablo 4 before, you know the mechanics, you have a build setup that you're familiar with, and you know your rotation, because World Tier 2 can be, it's quite a step up from World Tier 1. So if you're new, again, I suggest World Tier 1. It's the easiest way to just get into the game, play the story. Have a, I would say for someone especially like Chris, my wife, who's not a big gamer, it's definitely challenging to her. It's mostly good to go for me until some of the boss fights that have hit like level 30 plus. So from there, it's been definitely like, oh, am I still on World Tier 1? Need to check that, but I am. So once you're done with character creation, you're going to get into the actual game, and this is where the fun begins. So the way you made your character look, it actually shows up in all the cutscenes just the way you created it in the character creation system. Now, as you get deeper into the game, everything you are wearing in the game, whatever cosmetic sets you've chosen to show your character utilizing, they're going to show up in these cutscenes. So it feels extremely personal to you and your character, which is something that I just love in this game. In any case, I hope you've been enjoying Diablo 4 as much as I have, and if you have, hopefully you will like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update as I continue to create game guides and live stream Diablo 4 throughout all the various classes that I'm going to be playing over the coming weeks. You can join us as the Raven Syndicate clan. Look us up in-game. You can also hit up our Discord. We tend to play Thursday nights at the moment, but that could always change. But hopefully we'll see you in-game.